JP Morgan has just made a bold prediction regarding Bitcoin and the crypto market. And I want you to understand it's bold because it is completely the opposite of what the world is freaking out about and what the world is telling you. As stock markets are coming down, gold and silver is selling off, crypto is definitely selling off. Bitcoin just hit like 94, 95,000. JP Morgan just came out with a coin. I'm going to talk about this today, how it's still within my thesis. And real quick, the Trade on Base course, how to build and trade on Base course, the pre-filming discount is closing. The timer is now on and it's going away. You will not see that price again. Okay, so if you want that, check it out. And these coins that Dylan and I have been highlighting are at such incredible prices because the market is so freaking out. The greed and fear index is so low. The oversold, the RSI is so low. It's stupid. Okay, so check this out. This comes out of the block. .co. JP Morgan sees Bitcoin support at 94,000 and is keeping its $170,000 upside case intact. It says analysts from JP Morgan say Bitcoin's rising production costs, now estimated at around $94,000. Remember, the cost of electricity and equipment has historically acted as a price floor, implying limited downside from current levels. The analysts maintain Bitcoin's upside case of roughly $170,000 over the next 6 to 12 months based on its volatility adjusted comparisons to gold. Let me throw a question out to you because there are a lot of people that would freak out. I myself, and still got cash ready to deploy into this downturn, but it becomes more and more precious as your cash stockpile gets smaller, and you don't also want to throw it out if the market goes down 5% or 10%, right? And so the question is this: type yes or no if you would agree that when you're seeing Bitcoin at these levels, as the world's in turmoil over trade talks, the government just came out of a shutdown, and nobody trusts each other. Banks don't trust each other. Governments don't trust each other. There's all kinds of fracturing all around the world. Wouldn't it make sense, yes or no, that wealthy people, corporations, governments would be trying to buy up Bitcoin at these levels? The reason why I ask that is because I always say you need to start thinking like wealthy people to become wealthy. That's how I got to where I was, right? I read books from wealthy people, I hung out with wealthy people, and when wealthy people would tell me what to do, I'd give me advice, I wouldn't even question it. I'd go do it. It was like the greatest financial experiment ever. Now, you look at this, and there are a lot of people are saying, absolutely, yes, that's what they're doing. But what you're seeing is the plebs, and please understand that when that crash on October 10th happened, I tried to deploy 30% of my portfolios in cash, and I could not get a trade-off for approximately 3 to 4 hours, and really the liquidity didn't push into the market for 8 hours. And even then, there wasn't enough volume for sure companies, trying to buy 10 million, $50 million of the crypto. They couldn't do it. There wasn't enough liquidity without spiking the price, because wealthy individuals, companies, and governments don't spook markets. They have a trading setup to where they are scraping retail buyers' sell orders, market sells especially, because they go undetectable. Now, I hope you understand what I'm saying, because I'm giving you some real insight here. When Michael Saylor's company buys crypto, buys Bitcoin, all it is doing, there is a special trade setup to where you can't see their purchase. And it scrapes little by little market sells within a predefined, not only time frame, predefined price frame. This is why most people will not be successful in crypto, because they are emotional. What's coming so JP Morgan is telling you that this is just logical. The cost of making a Bitcoin costs $94,000. That's your floor. So should you be buying right now? Do me a favor. Type yes or no. Should you be buying right now? Can it dip to 88? Yeah. A bunch of plebs could rush out and sell? Absolutely it could. But it's not going to stay there. So we have JP Morgan just came out with their own coin. And you know what? Here, you want to hear something else that's crazy? Check this out. Dylan and I did a video the other day, was it yesterday, as everything was tanking, and we did a story on the JP Morgan coin. Nowhere in that video did we say we own it, we're looking to buy it. Do you know how many comments were in there? Like, what's the ticker? I'm buying it. I think you're right. It's a good idea. This is how crazy a certain segment of the human population is. That's what we're dealing with. And before you know it, people's faces are going to be melted off, because as Bitcoin takes off again, because what'll happen is all the rich people have sucked all the liquidity out because there's nobody out selling, and then some of them capitulate and go, well, 97 is a good price. Let's set our trade up, our hidden trade up to 97. You know what? That's all gone. Let's better grab 100 grand, better grab 104, because they know what's coming. 120, 130, 140. Now, trust me, do not take this as me being a cheerleader. Oh my gosh, it's down. I got to keep my thesis going. No, that's not true. I'm telling you right now, you've got to understand that this is how wealthy people think. That is why everyone should always have a certain amount of cash off to the side for those kind of opportunities. Because the long-term prospects for Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole, because it gets sucked into the wake of the vortex when Bitcoin takes off, they all go up exponentially. These are the days that you should be excited about. You see, the stock market just woke up to the fact that real estate's crashing. They're just now barely hitting the iceberg. Trump just came out with the idea of a 50-year mortgage. Please hear what's going on now. What's next? They're going to start telling the Fed to juice the markets. The Fed's already juicing the banking market. You know, think about this. You want to know how bad it is? This is a fact. Very little YouTubers will ever tell you about. The Fed repo window is a big deal. Now, it may not seem like a big deal to you right now because you're used to it. Like, oh, they were open pretty much all of COVID. Yeah, but in the Great Recession, was it Bear Stearns had already closed their doors in the spring of 08. Lehman Brothers collapsed in September of 2008. The stock market was reeling all that year. It was going down, but really started to accelerate tanking in September of 2008. The Fed did not, and the Fed had already been lowering rates for quite some time. They'd been slowly, in late 2007, 2008, they were dropping them a little bit. They started really dropping them exponentially in September when Lehman Brothers closed their doors, crashed. They didn't open the Fed repo window, the repurchase program, until January of 2009. So that, because it's such an easy sign to show the weakness of the banking sector. Well, it's already open and injecting more liquidity into the banks than it has in quite some time, if not forever. Okay, so we already know. So when things go bad, what do wealthy, smart people do? They grab things that are rare. Okay, they grab things on discounts that they know have a finite supply, and Bitcoin hits that metric. As a matter of fact, most crypto projects hit that metric. It's just based on how well the team performs, how profitable the company is. There are people that make you think, because they wear a fancy suit and they talk with a deep voice, that they know all this stuff. They couldn't even explain to you what a crypto token is compared to a crypto coin. Cryptography is a science and a way of doing something. A coin is a currency. A token is a utility, something to use that a company is putting out because they built a product around it. Okay? I look at companies and I look at their balance sheets and how much they're making, which usually you can't even figure out unless you're an angel investor a lot of the time. But this is what people don't understand. And so that's why we built the Trade on Base course, because Coinbase is about to unleash the Base ecosystem in about 8 weeks. So if you want to learn how to do that and find all these gems before they list on centralized exchanges, a lot of you have made crazy money on coins on Base that are already on Coinbase. Well, I'm telling you, there's a lot of them out there that Coinbase is also invested in that are not on Coinbase yet, or ever will they ever be. And there are a lot of people that don't understand how many airdrops are coming just by being in that ecosystem. So links down below. Once it ends, it's over. Please don't try and email me with a sad story that, you know, all that stuff. I'm excited. I have not sold any of my crypto except for specific tax losses where I'll do a wash trade. I'll sell and I'll rebuy it again and wash trade it for the IRS. But yeah, I have all mine and I'm buying more. I'm going to go home in a little bit and I'm going to go buy a little bit more. So hopefully you got something out of this. Never put all your money into one basket. That's the dumbest thing you could ever do. Diversify. And in December, I believe we're going to see a pop and we're going to be taking some profits. The Economic Ninja is out.